Everyone's obsessed with candlestick patterns like they are some magic formula that's going to make them rich overnight. Doji, hammer, shooting star, engulfing candle. It's honestly hilarious watching traders memorize 50 different pattern names thinking they've cracked some secret code. Here's the reality that nobody wants to tell you. 99% of candlestick patterns are literally the same thing dressed up with fancy names. They're all just showing you breaks of structure, but the gurus make it sound overcomplicated so they can sell you their courses. I used to be one of those traders, frantically looking for the perfect pattern until I realized I was overcomplicating everything. After blowing accounts and losing thousands because I was chasing every single pattern setup, I finally figured out that you only need to understand a few key concepts about how price actually moves. So today I'm going to break down the patterns I actually trade, why most pattern obsession is just market noise, and how to read price action without getting caught up in all the BS that keeps most traders broke. So before I show you what I actually trade, let me break down to you these so-called different patterns that everyone's obsessing over. I'm going to show you about 10 of the most popular ones and prove to you that they're all basically the same thing, the doji. This is supposed to be some mystical indecision candle. Really, it's just a small body with wicks on both sides. Translation, neither buyers or sellers could take control. That's it. Next we have the hammer. It's a small body at the top of a long lower wick. Pattern traders get excited because it's a bullish reversal. But what it's really showing is that sellers pushed price down and buyers rejected at that price. Same as half the other patterns on this list. The shooting star. Small body at the bottom, long upper wick. Now it's a bearish reversal. But again, what happened? Buyers tried to push the price higher and sellers said no. It's literally just the upside down version of a hammer. Next, the pin bar. Wait, isn't this the same as a hammer? Pretty much, yeah. But now we're calling it a pin bar because it sounds more professional, I guess. Next, we have the bullish engulfing. You're probably familiar with this. It's a small red candle followed by a big green candle that engulfs it. But what's really happening? Sellers had some control, then buyers completely took over. That's momentum shift, not just some magical pattern. Next, we have the bearish engulfing. Same thing, opposite direction. Small green candle, big red candle, then eats it up. Buyers had control briefly, then sellers dominated. Next, we have the morning star. 3 candles, red, small indecision, then big green. What's the story? Selling pressure, uncertainty, then buying takes over. It's just an engulfing pattern with an extra step. Then we have the evening star. 3 candles, green, small, then red. Buying pressure, uncertainty, sellers taking over. Again, just a stretched out engulfing. Tweezer tops and bottoms. 2 candles with similar highs or lows. Oh look, price tested the same level twice. Yeah, that's called support and resistance, not just some special pattern. Next, we have the 3 white soldiers. 3 green candles in a row, each closing higher. But what is this showing? It's showing sustained buying pressure. You could also just call it an uptrend. Then we have 3 black crows. 3 red candles in a row, each closing lower and lower. Sustained selling pressure, or as normal people call it, a downtrend. Marubozu, large body, no wicks, one side completely dominated with 0 opposition. This one's actually useful because it shows pure momentum. You see what I'm getting at here? Every single one of these patterns that I'm showing you are just showing you one of 3 things. 1, rejection. One side tried to push price somewhere, the other side said no. 2, momentum. One side is clearly in control and dominating. And 3, indecision. Neither side can take control. Something big is coming. That's it. 3 concepts dressed up as dozens of different patterns so they can sell people like you courses and make it seem more complicated than it actually is. After years of trading and losing money on pattern nonsense, here's what I actually focus on now. It's way simpler than you think. I look for obvious rejection at key levels. That's basically it. When I see a massive green or red candle, that tells me one side completely dominated. No back and forth, no indecision, just pure control. These usually lead to continuation because momentum is building. This is my bread and butter. When price hits a major support or resistance level and I see a long wick rejecting that level, that's telling me that the level is holding and I should expect a bounce. The key thing here is that it has to be at a level that actually matters. Random wicks in the middle of nowhere mean nothing. These small body candles show indecision. Neither side could take control. When I see these at major levels, I know something big is probably coming once somebody finally takes charge. Here's what separates what I do from pattern obsession. I don't care what you call it. I care about where it happens and what it's telling me about the battle between the buyers and the sellers. But if you've been trading for years without great results, I get it. I was once there too. This is probably 80% of my trading right here. I find major support and resistance levels and I wait for price to show me a clear rejection. It doesn't matter if it's a hammer, a pin bar, or whatever. What matters is that the buyers or sellers clearly stepped in and said, not today, at a level that actually makes sense. I made thousands of dollars on trades that textbook pattern traders would ignore because they didn't fit their little boxes. When I see a small candle get completely eaten by a large opposite color candle, especially after a long trend like this right here, that usually means that the momentum is shifting. But here's the thing, I don't just trade every engulfing pattern I see. It has to make sense with the bigger picture. Is it at a major level? Is the trend getting exhausted? Context matters more than the pattern itself. I also look for multiple rejections. This is golden when it works. As you can see, price rejected at this level a couple of times. When I see price test the same level multiple times and get rejected each time, that level becomes like a brick wall in my mind. I don't care if each rejection looks exactly the same. What I care about is that the buyers or sellers keep defending that price, which tells me it's very important. Now, when a major level finally breaks, I want to see price come back and retest that level from the other side. If it holds as a new support or resistance, that's usually a high probability continuation trade. Again, this isn't about memorizing patterns. It's about understanding when important levels break. Smart money often tests them again before continuing. Like this right here, you can see we broke this level of support, it then turned into resistance and we continued the downtrend. Same thing happened over here. I always start with the higher time frames. As you can see, I'm on the daily right now. I use this to understand the bigger picture. But let's say the weekly chart is bullish. I'm not going to be looking for short trades. As you can see on USD JPY, the weekly is bullish. If we go to the daily, it is also bullish. Let's zoom out. You can see it's also bullish. So why in the world would I look for a short trade? Just because I see a 5-minute bearish pattern doesn't mean I'm looking for a short trade. The higher time frames set my bias, and everything else just gives me timing. Key levels matter more than patterns. I spend way more time identifying support and resistance levels than I do looking for patterns. Once I knew where the important levels were, I just wait for price to show me some kind of reaction there. It might be a long wick, it might be an engulfing candle, It might be multiple rejections. I don't really care as long as it's showing me that the buyers or sellers are stepping in. Volume pattern traders often ignore volume, but I think it's crucial. If I see a great looking pattern, but volume is dead, I'm probably not interested. High volume means big players are involved. Low volume means retail traders are just playing around. They trade patterns without context. They see a bearish engulfing and sell without caring. For example, you can see there was a bearish engulfing right here. But if you would have took a short trade, you would have gotten stopped out. As you can see, I have a long trade on this currently. My AI sent this out a couple days ago and we're about to hit TP. My AI didn't just enter this trade because there was a bearish engulfing. Overall, bigger picture, you can see on the daily, we are bullish on this pair, on the GBP JPY. But most traders don't care about what the bigger picture looks like. They think every pattern is a signal instead of understanding that patterns are just one piece of information in a much bigger puzzle. They don't wait for confirmation. They see the start of a pattern forming and jump in immediately, instead of waiting to see if it actually plays out. Most importantly, they think trading is about being right instead of being profitable. You can be wrong about individual patterns and still make money if you manage risk properly. Again, here's the trade that my AI sent on the GBP JPY a couple days ago that we're about to hit take profit on. As you can see, we approached this level of resistance that was once a level of support, and we broke out of that level with volume. So my AI decided to take a long. You can see price tested this level multiple times, indicating that this was a very important key level, and you can see we rejected off of this level as well. So overall, it was in an uptrend. You can see we finally approached this level, this key level of resistance again, and finally broke out. Breaking out of this strong level was indicating that the buyers were taking over because sellers didn't want to let this price get broken, and then guess what? It eventually did. So all of the sellers, the short traders, started getting squeezed out, and that's why we're currently about to hit TP on this trade. But you can see it was a clear breakout with volume. It even retested. So my AI took the long. It didn't enter off of a random bearish engulfing over here, a random bullish engulfing that you can see over here. It waited for confirmation. The trade is working out because the logic is sound, not because my AI correctly identified some mystical pattern. If you want to stop losing money on pattern obsession and start reading charts like someone who actually trades for a living, here's what you need to do. Stop memorizing pattern names. Start understanding what rejection and acceptance looks like at important levels. Focus on key levels first, identify major support and resistance on higher timeframes before you even think about looking at any kind of setup. Wait for context. Don't trade patterns in the middle of nowhere. Only consider setups that make sense with the bigger picture. Use proper risk management even if you read every pattern perfectly. You'll still lose money if you don't know how to manage risk. Keep it simple. The market rewards consistency and logic, not complexity and pattern. I know this probably goes against everything you've been taught about candlestick patterns, but I had to learn this the hard way after losing thousands of dollars. The truth is that successful trading is way simpler than most people make it seem. You don't need to know 50 different pattern names. You just need to understand supply and demand, support and resistance, and how to manage risk properly. If this opened your eyes to why pattern obsession might be keeping you broke, hit that like button because it tells me you want more real trading content instead of the usual BS. Next week, I'm breaking down exactly how I identify those key levels I keep talking about because that's honestly more important than any pattern you'll ever learn. But yeah, stop overcomplicating this. The market is hard enough. Don't make it harder on yourself with pattern obsession. Keep it simple, stay consistent, and focus on what actually moves the markets. I'll see you on the next one.